Admittedly, it's a little late in 2022 to be doing a trends video. I really wanted to think through what people would be seeking out for home decor and furniture purchases over the next year. Before we get into that, let's first talk about all the different interior decor styles that are out there. I compiled a list. First on the list is cottage. Stick that. Bohemian. Hollywood glam. Okay. Art deco. Industrial. Rustic. Rustic tends to be pretty industrial, so we got to connect that there. Mediterranean. Asian zen. Not to be mistaken for Asian zing, which is one of the only good sauces at Buffalo Wild Wings. French country. Modern. Shabby chic. Isn't shabby chic just rustic, farmhouse, and cottage all combined? Southwestern. Coastal. Farmhouse. But farmhouse really has some French country connected to it. Traditional, Scandinavian, minimalism, Grand-Millennial, mid-century, California casual. Rustic can also be very Southwestern, so be very bohemian. California casual can have bohemian elements. California casual can also have coastal elements and Scandinavian elements. What the heck is Japandi? Japandi is actually a combination of Asian zing and Scandinavian century. Has elements of Art Deco.
Have you ever tried any of the other sauces at B-Dubs?
I'm sure I missed a few, but these were the 21 interior design styles that I could think of off the top of my head. As you can see, all these styles overlap with each other in one way or another. But for today's purposes, we're going to focus on 5. Grand-Millennial, California casual, Art Deco, cottage, and mid-century. Let's talk about Grand-Millennial first. It's a term coined by Emma, I'm going to mess this up, Bazelon. And to quote her, "I have an affinity for design trends considered by mainstream culture to be stuffy or outdated. Laura Ashley prints, ruffles, and embroidered linens." So think pastels, floral wallpaper, fabric, curtains, but mix it with like golds and metals, so like a gold frame mirror. The key to this is just being very strategic and picky with what you're sourcing and keeping everything tidy. Next is California casual or California cool or just California style. For this, you want to think neutral, soft, natural elements, stone, wood, leather, wool. This style really feels just like all the windows in the house are open. You're talking soft but clean lines. It's very relaxed, but not as relaxed as our next style, which is the cottage style. Cottage style also kind of has some Grand-Millennial elements. Where Grand-Millennial is very bright and fun and perky, cottage is a little more moody, a little more earthy, but similar to California casual where you're dealing with more natural elements like woods and stones, but I would say it's even more relaxed and utilitarian. When I was looking into mid-century modern, Google says it's known for its more organic nature, but I really have to disagree. I think of mid-century modern, I think very architectural and clean lines. There are some elements to it where it feels more organic. Some of the furniture pieces, they tend to be maybe a little more rounded, have a little more curve to them. I would think the majority of us, when we think mid-century modern, we kind of get a picture of a credenza or a dresser like this in our heads. That's the first thing I think of when I think mid-century modern. I would say Art Deco also is very much known for being more architectural. It's known for being sleek, geometric, man-made materials. So what can I as an antique booth owner source that are representative of these 5 styles? For Grand-Millennial, I'm looking for like ginger jars, bird lithographs, floral paintings, gold frame mirrors, frilly colored glassware, and vintage tulle fabric. Like, that is what I'm looking for if I'm trying to bring more of the Grand-Millennial look into my space. For California casual, we're looking for anything stone, linen, leathers like leather chairs. Like we talked about before, cottage is going to have a lot of those same elements as California casual. We're looking for very natural elements like the leather and the linens. We're also looking for pottery kitchenware, very utilitarian stuff that's very useful, antique Turkish rugs that are more worn, patterned fabrics but in more muted colors. Antique and vintage quilts also are very, very cottage to me. For mid-century modern, obviously we're looking for very clean line furniture, so dressers and credenzas, chairs, coffee tables, end tables. I would say glassware is a really fun one to look for mid-century modern, especially barware. And of course, Starburst clocks. Very, very popular right now. You guys have made me very aware of that. And for Art Deco, you really want to be looking for lighting. I think that's probably the most recognizable feature of the Art Deco time period was their lighting. Velvet furniture, golds and metals, and mirrors with really unique and geometric frames. I want to remind everybody that I am not a professional trend watcher. These are just my thoughts and what I am noticing people are being drawn to more on social media, what past styles big box stores are taking inspiration from, and what's selling out of my own personal booth. These are the 5 styles that I'm trying to mesh together in my booth right now. While there is some overlap, there is definitely a big difference between cottage and Art Deco. It's a bit of a challenge, but it really just comes down to being very intentional with my sourcing. But just because I think this is where the antique and vintage home decor trends are going, that doesn't mean I'm going to put myself into a box. I'm going to continue to source anything that I'm drawn to, even if it doesn't fit into these 5 categories of home decor styles. Please don't let anything that I've said in this video sway you or determine what you source for your own shop. Farmhouse still might be selling incredibly well in your area, and you should continue to source farmhouse. You might live near a beach, so coastal is probably very popular for your buyers. We've talked about this before, but there is just no one size fits all when it comes to antique booth ownership and sales. Every antique dealer is different, every antique mall is different, and every customer is different in what they are interested in and what they want to buy. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this topic. Are there certain interior design home trends that you are noticing more of? Are you noticing anything different with your sales? Maybe something that you haven't had any luck with selling in the past that's selling very well now. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Please leave them in the comments down below. That is it for this video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Scandalini.